Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Sunday, July 1st, 2018. Today I'm going to recap the free agent moves that got on so far in both the NBA, which began last night, and the NHL ones that are being leaked by the hour because their free agency begins at noon. Go over all the FIFA action, and then I'm going to go over all the Major League Baseball action from last night and today's action I'll look ahead to. I'm going to hold off on the monthly baseball awards until tomorrow's podcast due to all the free agent frenzy and whatnot. Just a busy day today. We'll catch up more with baseball tomorrow. All right. NBA free agency, the biggest one. Paul George back to Oklahoma City. 4 years, $173 million with the option for the fourth year. I'm giving that an A+. Great job on the Thunder. Great risk to pull off that trade, and you convinced him to come back. He didn't even get a meeting with Magic Johnson and the Lakers, although there is a growing sense in circles is that LeBron's going to ultimately end up in Los Angeles. But great win for Oklahoma City. Great trade. Paul George is a great player in this league. Russell Westbrook has the other star with him. They should be a playoff team next year. Another move that they made was bringing back Jeremy Grant. 3 years, $27 million. The third year is non-guaranteed. I'd give this a B. He was a key part to their bench. And I'm interested to see what they do with Carmelo Anthony. Do they buy him out? Do they stretch him? It's going to be very interesting. Chris Paul back to the Houston Rockets. 4 years, $160 million. That to me is also an A. Great move by the Rockets, great trade, and although that end of the contract's going to look hideous as Chris Paul ages, but you had to do the move if you're Houston. You got to bring at least most of the band back together. And speaking of which, Gerald Green back to the Houston Rockets, 1 year, $2.5 million. I think that's a bargain of a deal. I'd give that a B+. Here's a good bench piece for them last year. And a huge loss for the Houston Rockets. Trevor Ariza to the Phoenix Suns, 1 year, $15 million. I give that a B-. I can't believe that the Suns made that move. I can't believe Trevor Ariza went there. He clearly went for the money instead of going to a contender for more years and less annual average value. I thought Houston would bring him back, but I guess not. Maybe they think they have a chance at LeBron James. We'll see. Or even Kawhi Leonard via trade. So it's going to be very interesting. I don't think the Laker thing's a lock. I'm not believing the Laker thing is a lock, but I do think the Lakers thing is a distinct possibility. That's what I think ultimately will end up happening now that Paul George ended up staying with Oklahoma City. But I always said that LeBron will end up wherever Kawhi goes. And so it's going to be very, 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 very interesting. Nikola Jokic back to the Denver Nuggets, 5 years, $148 million. I kept saying on the podcast that one of the first moves to break at midnight was going to be Nikola Jokic back to Denver on the max deal. Denver had to do it. I'm giving them an A. He's a great player, although he has to improve defensively. He can pass, he can rebound, he can shoot from three. He has certainly emerged as a top 30 player in the league over the past couple seasons. Will Barton back to the Denver Nuggets, 4 years, $54 million. I give that an A-. Good job by Denver by keeping the wing guy that comes off of the bench and hits some threes. He's a great player too. Indiana was in on him, but good for Denver finding the cap room to bring him back. I think there's a chance that Denver makes some corresponding moves after these to actually clear the cap room to bring them back. Maybe a Kenneth Faried trade or a Darrell Arthur trade or a Wilson Chandler trade. So it's going to be interesting. Doug McDermott to the Indiana Pacers, 3 years, $22 million. I like this move for Indiana. I'm going to give it a B because he could come off the bench for them and shoot some threes. He could play the 3. He could play the 4. He was solid for the Knicks last year before they traded him to Dallas for Emmanuel Mudiay. And he was solid on Dallas. I thought there was a chance McDermott would go back to Dallas, but Nice contract by the Indiana Pacers, although I think it was a little bit of an overpay. Marco Bellinelli to the San Antonio Spurs, 2 years, $12 million. I like the deal if they think they're keeping Kawhi Leonard. But on the flip side, even if they don't keep Kawhi Leonard, Bellinelli could be a trade asset for them at the deadline because I don't think they're a playoff team next year, especially if Kawhi Leonard leaves. So the Bellinelli deal, I'm giving a B-. He was a great Spur once upon a time. Hit some big shots for them when they won the title in 2014. So a nice deal for Bellinelli. Derrick Rose back to the Minnesota Timberwolves, 1 year, $2.5 million. Rose just isn't the same player anymore. I'm giving it a C-. He better come off the bench for them, which I think he will. Ed Davis to the Brooklyn Nets, 1 year, $4.4 million. I give that a C+. Good value signing for the Nets. They'll probably trade him at the deadline. DeAndre Jordan to the Dallas Mavericks, 1 year, $24.1 million. This is just funny. I'm giving this a B+ because Dallas needed a center. They got probably the best center other than DeMarcus Cousins on the market. And it's just funny that he ends up back there after backing out of a verbal agreement 3 years ago, which led to him ultimately re-signing with the Los Angeles Clippers. So it's funny how things work out. Kevin Durant back to the Warriors, 2 years, $61.5 million. It is an A+, no doubt about it. They had to keep Kevin Durant. Now the question is, next summer, do they bring back Klay Thompson on the max? Are they going to deal with 4 max players? That could very well be the case. Ersan Ilyasova to the Milwaukee Bucks, 3 years, $21 million. Nice bench piece for them. I'm going to give it a B-. To me, this is curious from a standpoint of I don't think they're bringing back Jabari Parker because they used up a little cap room to bring in somebody that could start for them in theory, or he could come off the bench. He's a good three-point shooter. So, a day one loser is the Philadelphia 76ers because they lose 2 of their key bench guys from last year in Ilyasova and Bellinelli. Joe Harris back to the Brooklyn Nets, 2 years, $16 million. Give that a B. Harris was a fine player for them last year, and if they aren't good again, then I could see Harris being flipped at the deadline to a contender. Rudy Gay back to the San Antonio Spurs, 1 year, $10 million. Rudy Gay had a good year last year, and smart for the Spurs to bring him back on a 1-year deal. Maybe they trade him if they're not good to a contender. And he could start for them at small forward, assuming that Kawhi Leonard gets traded. He started most of last year for them. So I'm going to grade this a B. And last but not least, Fred VanVleet back to the Toronto Raptors, 2 years, $18 million. I give this one an A-. Great for Toronto bringing back a guy that was in play for the 6th Man of the Year. He was outstanding for them last year, and I don't blame them for bringing him back. National Hockey League. None of these are like quote-unquote official yet until noon. James Van Riemsdyk to Philadelphia, 5 years, $35 million. I think that's an A. JVR had a career year, and Philadelphia bit the bullet. Not a bad contract. I think Wayne Simmons will be on the trading block. I'll get more into the hockey free agency, what happens with the John Tavares losers on another podcast, most likely tomorrow's. Anton Kubelin to Dallas, 2 years, $5 million. I like the deal. I give that a B+. Kudobin's a good role player. Eric Rybin to New Jersey, I like that deal. I give that a B. No terms exactly yet. And same with David Perron back to the St. Louis Blues. I give that a B+. The Blues needed a top 6 forward. I thought that was going to be the team that signed James Van Riemsdyk, but I was wrong. A couple days ago, Jack Johnson to Pittsburgh, 5 years, $62.25 million. I give that a B+. They had a need on defense, and it's okay to slightly overpay for somebody if you have that bad of a need. Chris Wagner to Boston on a 2-year deal. The terms aren't really out yet. Give that a B. I like Wagner. Matt Hendricks to Minnesota, I give that a B. And Greg Patterson to Minnesota, I give that a B-. I'll give grades to all the other moves that are made between now and by the time I do tomorrow's podcast. I'll do that all on tomorrow's podcast. FIFA World Cup. Yesterday afternoon's result in the knockout round. France defeated Argentina 4-3. This was in the morning, believe it or not. So, Lionel Messi out. France moves on. And France is up 1-0 on a goal by Antoine Griezmann in the 13th minute on a penalty kick. 1-0 France. Angel Di Maria in the 41st minute ties it up at 1 apiece. Gabriel Mercado in the 48th minute, 2-1 Argentina. Benjamin Pavard in the 57th minute ties it up at 2 apiece. Kylian Mbappe in the 64th minute puts France up 3-2. And again in the 68th minute puts France up 4-2. And Sergio Aguero in extra time in the 93rd minute gets Argentina within 1. But France moves on to the quarterfinals. Uruguay defeated Portugal 2-1 as Cristiano Ronaldo is out. And Uruguay moves on. Edinson Cavani in the 7th minute, 1-0 Uruguay. Pepe in the 55th minute ties up at 1 apiece for Portugal. And Edinson Cavani again in the 62nd minute put Uruguay up 2-1 for good. Uruguay moves on to the quarterfinals. Spain and Russia on their way right now. At halftime, on yesterday's podcast, I picked Russia, and they're tied with Spain at 1 apiece. Sergei Ignashiev in the 12th minute put Spain up 1-0. Then Artem Zyba in the 41st minute tied it up at 1 apiece. 2 o'clock on Fox, Croatia and Denmark. I like Croatia here to move on. And then tomorrow morning, you have Brazil and Mexico. Give me Brazil. That is going to be a fun game on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow morning. Going to go over baseball scores from yesterday real quick. Couple interesting results to say the least. I'm not going to go over all the scoring. Just going to go through the scores and give out the winner, the loser, and the save opportunity if necessary. The Blue Jays defeated the Tigers 4-3 as they improved to 39-43. Detroit drops to 36-48. Swang Juan O improves to 4-2. Joe Jimenez drops to 3-1. The game ended on a walk-off home run by Justin Smoke in the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs defeated the Twins 14-9 as they improved to 46-35. Minnesota drops to 35-44. Justin Wilson improves to 2-2. Trevor Hildenberger drops to 1-2. The Angels defeated the Orioles 6-2 as they improved to 43-41. Baltimore drops to 23-59. Justin Anderson improves to 2-2, and Michael Givens drops to 0-6. The Athletics defeated the Indians 7-2. They're on a roll right now. They improved to 46-38. Cleveland drops to 44-37. Edwin Jackson improves to 1-0. Adam Plutko drops to 4-2. Lou Trevino gets his 3rd save of the year, and that's 6 straight wins for the Oakland Athletics. The Reds defeated the Brewers 12-3 as they improved to 35-48. Milwaukee drops to 48-34. David Hernandez improves to 3-0. Mike Zagorski drops to 0-1. The Marlins defeated the Mets 5-2 as they improved to 34-50. The Mets dropped to 32-48. Pablo Lopez improves to 1-0. Jacob deGrom drops to 5-4. Kyle Barclough gets his 8th save of the season. The Rays defeated the Astros 5-2 as they improved to 41-41. Houston drops to 55-30. Vidal Nuno improves to 2-0. Justin Verlander drops to 9-4. Sergio Romo gets his 7th save of the season. The Phillies defeated the Nationals 3-2. Good bounce back win for the Phillies. They improved to 44-37. Washington drops to 42-39. Victor Arano improves to 1-0. Jeremy Hellickson, the ex-Philly, drops to 2-1. Seranthony Dominguez gets his 7th save of the season. The Red Sox bounced back and absolutely destroyed the Yankees 11-0 as they improved to 56-28. The Yankees dropped to 53-27. Chris Sale improves to 8-4. Sonny Gray drops to 5-6. The Rockies defeated the Dodgers 3-1 as they improved to 41-42. LA drops to 43-39. German Marquez improves to 6-8. Kenta Maeda drops to 5-5. Adam Vazano gets his 2nd save of the season. The Braves defeated the Cardinals 11-4 as they improved to 47-34. St. Louis drops to 42-39. Max Fried improves to 1-2. Luke Weaver drops to 4-7. The Rangers defeated the White Sox 13-4 as they improved to 38-46. Chicago drops to 28-54. Bartolo Colon improves to 5-5. Carlos Rodon drops to 1-3. The Mariners defeated the Royals 6-4 as they improved to 53-31. Casey drops to 25-57. Felix Hernandez improves to 8-6. Jason Hamill drops to 2-10. Edwin Diaz gets his 31st save of the season. The Padres defeated the Pirates 4-3 as they improved to 37-48. Pittsburgh drops to 39-43. Joey Lucchesi improves to 4-3. Trevor Williams drops to 6-6. Brad Hand gets his 23rd save of the year. And last but not least, the Giants defeated the Diamondbacks 7-0 as they improved to 44-40. Arizona drops to 47-36. Derek Rodriguez improves to 3-1. Shelby Miller drops to 0-2. Today's games: 1 o'clock, you have Angels-Orioles. Deck McGuire and Kevin Gossman. Tigers-Blue Jays. Jordan Zimmerman and J.A. Happ. Brewers-Reds. Freddie Peralta and Matt Harvey. Mets-Marlins. Steven Matz and Dan Straley. Astros-Rays. Charlie Morton and Blake Snell. That's a nice pitching matchup. 1:30 Nationals-Phillies. Gio Gonzalez and Jake Arrieta. 2:15 Braves-Cardinals. Mike Falta-Units and John Gant. 2:20 Twins-Cubs. Lance Lynn and John Lester. 3 o'clock White Sox-Rangers. Reynaldo Lopez and Cole Hamels. 4 o'clock Indians-Athletics. Mike Clevenger and Frankie Montas. Royals-Mariners. Brad Keller and James Paxton. Rockies-Dodgers. Chad Bettis and Ross Stripling. Pirates-Padres. Jameson Taillon and Tyson Ross. Giants-Diamondbacks. Derek Holland and Zach Godley. And last but not least, Sunday Night Baseball, 8 o'clock, ESPN. Matt Vassurgeon, Alex Rodriguez, Jessica Mendoza, and Buster Olney. Red Sox-Yankees from Yankee Stadium. David Price, Luis Severino. Rubber game of this 3-game set. The winner of this game is, in all likelihood, going to be number 1 in my power rankings on tomorrow's podcast. And I think the winner of this game will be the Yankees. They have the better pitcher going on the mound in Luis Severino. Luis Severino, I'm just going to say, it's the favorite for the AL Cy Young Award right now because he's been on a roll. I think he'll be the pitcher of the month in July. Spoiler alert, he's my pick for the AL pitcher of the month for July. He leads the AL in ERA right now with 2 rough starts in a row by Justin Verlander. So give me the Yankees to salvage this final game of the series and take another series from the Red Sox in their home ballpark. All right, that's it for today's podcast. I'll be back tomorrow recapping all the baseball action, FIFA action, and going over more free agent moves that happen. I'll do my power rankings as well as my players of the week and players of the month. I'll do it all, and tomorrow's going to be a long podcast. So I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.